Hey, what's up everybody? It's Joy, and today I'm going to be talking about that one little word that a lot of us can't seem to get in our vocabularies, and that's no. So if this is one of your problem areas just like me, stay tuned to the video. Like I said in my last video, it's super normal for us young adults to want to please others and want to, worry about others and worry about what they think. However, this mentality can cause us to avoid taking certain actions that ultimately will work for the benefit of the rest of our lives and our mentalities and just progression in general. I know for me personally, I often have a hard time saying no. I never want to let anyone down or hurt anyone's feelings, but in the long run, this has hurt me tremendously. Having this fear of saying no can lead to ultimately two forms of life. And that's a life where you feel one, overworked, or two, unappreciated. If you're consistently saying no at the jump of a hat, if someone's coming to you often with different tasks and different things that you know they probably can do themselves, and ultimately giving you their dirty work, but you avoid saying no to keep the relationship and keep good graces, ultimately that hinders your progression, hinders your promotion in life, just because when you're not able to evaluate a situation and recognize when no needs to be said to someone, that ultimately can really hinder your growth. Just because if someone's coming to you on a consistent basis trying to get you to do certain things for them or basically do their dirty work in a nutshell, and you're avoiding saying no, in the long run you're ultimately going to end up overworked just because of your failure to say, okay, look, I know that you can do this, I know that you can handle this business on your own, I'm not your lapdog, I'm not your go-to, just because you feel as though you can take advantage of me. And this fear of saying no ultimately leads you to be taken advantage of. And there's so many people in this world that will take advantage of that fear. People always seek out those who have a problem with saying no and who are ultimately passive and just basically let things slide or let things go in a certain way just because they fear confrontation. I think my phone just cracked. We good. When you become overworked because of your fear of saying no and avoiding confrontation and avoiding judgment from other people, it ultimately is a sin. I was reading a verse the other day that I'll include in the description of the video. Jesus was saying that it is a sin to be overworked. So ultimately, when you have this fear of saying no and letting people, walk over you basically and give you all their dirty work and their lap work, then that overworking of yourself and not resting your temple ultimately is a sin, and God does not want you to do that, and God doesn't want you to be taken advantage of. So it's best for your progression and for your faith to get rid of this mentality of being fearful of saying no. In addition to being overworked, the fear of saying no can also lead to you being unappreciated. As I said before, a lot of people seek out those who have this fear of saying no and who are passive, and they tend to walk over them because they know they can. It's a terrible mentality to have, however, a lot of humans do have it. And when you come across people with this mentality, it's simple. They're not going to appreciate you. They're not going to value you as a child of Christ just because all they're consumed by is the fact that you'll do whatever they ask you to do because of your fear of confrontation and your fear of judgment, and they know that you won't say no. And this unappreciation can definitely take a huge toll in your life. Going around with an attitude that you're not appreciated, that people don't see you for the good that you do and the impact that you have on their lives, it takes a huge toll. You'll definitely be hindered in courage and confidence, and it'll ultimately make things harder just for you to progress in any field really, in different career opportunities as well as relationships. Ultimately, this fear of saying no has to just be tackled straight on. I know for me personally, it's really just a matter of recognizing when I feel like I'm going to say yes to something that I know I really shouldn't. For me, a lot of times my friends and my parents call me Superwoman just because I try to take on too much, just because, one, I like to push my limits and see how far I can go in different aspects of my life. I like to see how much I can take on. And two, I don't like letting people down. You know, I try to be there for everyone and do everything for everyone, but this ultimately hinders me sometimes. I know last semester it came a point where I actually did try to do too much, and then I noticed a grade in a class slipped. So it's just a matter of recognizing the toll that this is having in your life. Whenever you're ready to say yes and take on someone else's work, stop yourself. You have to think about how this is going to affect you in the long run. Think, is this going to be beneficial to my life? Think, does this need to be done now? And does this need to be done by me? Because a lot of times people will come to you with things that they actually can do that will be of no hindrance to them, but because they know of your fear of saying no, it leaves room to be taken advantage of, which no one wants, and no one wants to go through life feeling unappreciated and overworked. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give it a big thumbs up, and also in the comments, if you all can tell me, you know, what you want to see. Yeah, I really like that. I have ideas in mind, but it's also good to get feedback from you all. So until the next video, peace out, y'all.